Three key things every retirement plan must have. And you may only have one of the three. Really? Yeah, and actually, when I think about three key things, because three seems to be a great number to talk about, I'm not including your emergency fund. So really, we ought to change it to the four key things. You have to have cash. Cash is king, regardless of what any financial planner wants to tell you. Oh, you've got too much in cash. Not true. Cash is what allows you to sleep good at night. It gets you through these volatile markets that we've experienced this year. So you have your emergency fund, but now let's go to the three key things every retirement plan should have. Number one, like it or not, we got to have money in Wall Street. Yes, we have to have money in that, what I call the red bucket. That's the volatile bucket. That's the one that goes up and down. That's the one that drives you crazy sometimes. And I'm a Wall Street money manager, but I absolutely know that bucket is the one that causes us the most stress, but it's also an important part of our bucket strategy. So think about this. The first thing when you're talking about your Wall Street bucket that you may not know, you're working with that big box advisor and you really like the man or the woman and all that. But let me ask you a question. Have they ever taken the time to look at your Wall Street bucket, that portfolio that's in the markets, and run a correlation matrix for you? You would be shocked to see what happens and the look on the people's faces when they come in for their complimentary retirement planning session done by a certified financial planner, and we give them the results and they see a document called a correlation matrix. Now, I know I'm a nerd and I get really crazy about all these details, but this is such an important thing. We'll see many people's Wall Street bucket has all these great things in it. And they say, look how diverse I am. Hold on a minute. Are you really diverse? Do you know the diversity inside that Wall Street bucket? Until you run a correlation matrix, you may not know. This correlation matrix is going to show how each of those holdings work together. And what we find most times when people are leaving those big box retail firms, they have a highly correlated portfolio. And what that means is all these different mutual funds are highly correlated, meaning they move exactly the same way in the markets most of the time. We can actually specifically show you how correlated your portfolio is. Well, here's what that means. It means in times of growth, that bucket may be going this way. What does it mean in times of market volatility? The bucket's going this way. The idea behind having a balanced plan and a diverse plan is not having a highly correlated one. And until they've taken the time to run that correlation matrix, you won't know that. All right, so we have these key assets that we're talking about, three of them. So we have to have our Wall Street bucket. We also have to take, when we think about diversity and the correlation matrix, we have to think about what's the goal of this bucket. And you say, well, Mark, that's easy. I want to make money. Oh, I get that. But how soon are we going to use it? You would be surprised when we see that everything in that Wall Street bucket is managed exactly the same way. Here's what I mean by that. Let's take an average 60-year-old. Should their Roth account, hopefully you have one, should your Roth account be managed the same way as your brokerage account or as your 401 or your IRA? Maybe not. Why? Think about a timeline. You're most likely, hopefully, have a withdrawal strategy that talks about using the Roth account late in retirement when we've already spent your taxable buckets. Why do we spend those first in most retirement plans? Because we're in a rising tax environment. You know taxes are going up, so why wouldn't we have a withdrawal strategy that lets us protect and save our money that we've already paid taxes on and use the money that we're going to owe taxes on while taxes are still lower? So if we're not going to use the Roth for the next 15 years, 20 years, if we're going to leave money to our kids, let's leave them the money in the Roth bucket because that's the one they don't pay tax on. Well, then the investment strategy, you might call yourself a conservative investor, and don't even get me started with these crazy names about moderate conservative, but for lack of time, let's use that word conservative. But do we need to be conservative on all those dollars? We might be more aggressive on the Roth bucket because your timeline is so increased. Okay, so now outside of that bucket, here's one of the key assets that you might be missing. You need a pension. You say, wait a second, Mark, I didn't work for Sears for 30 years. It's probably a good thing. But here's the deal. Your company may not have provided you with a pension, but one of the things we have to do is take money out of the Wall Street machine and put it in a guaranteed pension plan for you. And most people don't realize they can use their IRA or 401 dollars to do this. Why do we have to do that? Because we need income in retirement, income that comes in every single month, adjusted for inflation. So we have to develop an income plan using the tools that are available, and sometimes that means most times removing some money from Wall Street. And I'm a Wall Street money guy, but we got to get money out of the Wall Street machine and into your hands in a predictable, guaranteed manner for the rest of your life. So we have to build an income plan, one that says, well, Mark, I'm going to need $10,000 a month in retirement. Okay. Your Social Security is going to provide $3,000 of that. So we have a gap of $7,000. We'll need to shift enough money out of Wall Street to fund a pension so that you have a guaranteed payment for the rest of your life that gets you that $10,000 you want in this example for the rest of your life. And if it's a couple, no matter who lives longer, it has to keep coming in. And most people don't realize they can take IRA dollars and make them a joint pension. Yeah, you can do that. There's proper tools to do it. So there's another key asset is the income planning and creating a pension. Then we have to have a third asset that a lot of people are missing. This again is money outside of Wall Street. We call this an alternative asset class where we have principal protection, guaranteed principal protection, can't lose money, hopefully an account with no fees or charges on it that allows us to participate in market upside, without downside risk. So we make gains that are market provided. We lock our gains in at the end of a year or 2 year, whatever accrediting period might be. That gives us a stair step up. So we put our principal in. It's completely guaranteed. Now the markets were favorable. We went up. We locked our gains in. Oh, the next crediting period, the markets went down. We didn't go down. We didn't participate. We stayed flat during that crediting period. Then the markets do what they always do. They rebounded, and guess what happened? We went up again. Well, that sounds pretty good. It is good because it becomes part of your overall comprehensive retirement plan. Most people don't realize that when you build a true retirement plan, you can have the confident financial future you've always dreamed of. One that takes a lot of the fear, anxiety, and worry out of it. You've worked too hard in your lifetime to not have this. You know you need it. You know you deserve it. You must seek out a qualified financial planner and get a written retirement plan.